Konnichiwa, welcome to the Uzumaki Garage. This video is about electrical fault finding on the Mitsubishi Evolution 6.5 Tommy Makinen edition. It might help you diagnose a problem with your Evo 6 too, but I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to electrics, and I only know the basic functions of my multimeter. If you notice some mistakes in what I'm doing, please let me know in the comments and I'll add them to the video description, so be sure to check that out too.
Let me get out. Sound.
Not long ago, I took the Evo out at night to take some test photos for my Instagram. There wasn't much light, so I was trying some different angles while I kept the engine running. After a while, the engine cut out and wouldn't restart, but I knew the tank was at least half full. I tried a few things, but it was getting late, so I ended up getting it towed. I couldn't hear any noise from the Evo's fuel pump, so I decided to look into that first. I've removed the rear seat, and now I'm removing the left-hand side access panel, so I can hear when the fuel pump's running and have access to the fuel pump connector. On the Evo 6, you can't remove the fuel pump through the access panel because of the fuel hard lines. To remove the fuel pump, you do have to lower the tank down out of the car. But I don't want to replace the fuel pump if I don't need to, so first I'll test some electrical circuits and electrical components to see if I can work out the real problem. I'm not an expert on electrics, so I'll follow the Evo 6 service manual, inspection procedure 25. This is the fuel pump relay number 2. It sits in the engine bay on a bracket attached to the firewall. Step 1 is to unplug its connector and apply system voltage to terminal 2 of the harness side of the connector. Finding terminal number 2 wasn't easy, as the only decent diagram I found was this one, which shows a 5-pin relay which is used on the Evo 4 and 5. But the Evo 6 uses a 4-pin fuel pump relay now. I put a jumper wire onto the battery and energized the terminal black wire with blue trace. I was pretty sure I chose the right terminal as I can hear the pump running, but I may be wrong. Do your own research, this is not a DIY video. Now I'm going to check the fuel pump resistor circuit. This is the fuel pump resistor. It provides power to the fuel pump when the engine doesn't need as much fuel. I'm applying system voltage to terminal number 2 on the harness side connector. And I can hear the fuel pump running, so this is tested okay too. Now I'll test 2 relays which are under the dash in the console. The top relay is the fuel pump relay and the bottom one is the engine control relay. I removed the relay bracket so I can test both relays on the bench. I'm testing continuity of both relays with a multimeter, and this diagram shows the terminal numbers. First, I'll test in the voltage not supplied state. I set the multimeter to continuity and attach the multimeter probes to terminal 2 and 4 and listen for the beep. Both relays test okay. And now I'll test in the voltage supplied state. I put my jumper wire negative alligator clip to terminal 2 and positive alligator clip to terminal 4. Then I supply 12 volt power to these jumper wires by attaching the other end to my car battery. Now I check continuity between terminals 1 and 3. I've got continuity there too. Both relays test okay, so I reinstall them on the car. Next on the list is to check the fuel pump relay number 2 itself. I add battery power across the small terminals and I hear a click. But I can't work out the terminal numbers, so I can't properly check its continuity, but it works the same as the spare relay that I borrowed. Next, I'm checking the fuel pump resistor with the multimeter, and it's within range, so it's okay too. After all these checks, I still haven't found the issue, and even though the Mitsubishi inspection procedures continue past this point, it requires a Mitsubishi MUT tool and electronic circuit tracing, which is beyond my ability with the wiring diagrams that I have. But I refused to give up and started looking at the car's Immobiliser system, because they often have their own relay which cuts the fuel circuit. I traced all my Immobiliser wiring, which mostly looked okay, but when I opened up my Immobiliser unit, I found a spade connector sitting above its connection. It wasn't secure on the terminal and it was discoloured. This must have been an intermittent connection for some time, which caused increased resistance and excessive heat. The outer housing shows signs of melting from heat, so now I feel very lucky that it hasn't caused a fire. The Immobiliser was 10 years old, and I've now removed it completely and upgraded it to a modern security system. Recording. You can squeal it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you got something out of it, or I hope it'll help you in the future if you have problems with your Evo 6. Remember to hit those like, subscribe and notify buttons, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
ETC カードを入れてください。